In this lesson, we will be looking at the workflow between Fireworks CS6 and Edge. The great thing about Fireworks is it makes no pretensions other than to simply be an app that prepares imaging for screen-based use. There is a lot of unknown power under the Fireworks hood, and the workflow between Edge and Fireworks is just starting to come to the surface. My betting is that once you've discovered how quickly you can move from Fireworks to animation in Edge, you too will add Fireworks to your list of must-have applications in your Edge workflow. Let's get started. For this lesson, I've opened a PNG file. And when it opens, you'll see that there's a little page here that's got an image of a terracotta warrior, so some warriors in a pit in the background, some text, and even more text. Now, I want to point out a couple of things that you need to be aware of before you go to Edge. The first thing is I'm going to twirl down the head layer. Now, what you're looking at, if you've never used Fireworks, is two sublayers in the head layer. And what you need to do when you are exporting anything out of Fireworks for use in Edge, everything must go on its own layer. So to move this text from the head layer to the live text area, because this really is live text, what you do is you select the sublayer and just click that little dot in the layer you want it to go to, and it immediately goes up there. So we've dealt with one problem. The next problem is getting everything ready to go to Edge. Now, we know that Edge will take GIF, SVG, PNG, JPEG, and even animated GIF. If you take SVG out of that equation, you've got Fireworks. And you first off need to optimize your images for output. To do that, just click once on the Optimize tab, and you'll see that if you click on the pop-down here, you can choose whatever format you want. Now, you can't apply the formats to individual layers. You have to apply them to the entire document. But your choices are pretty extensive. PNG32, which goes to Edge, JPEG, which goes to Edge, GIF, which goes to Edge, and even animated GIF, which goes to Edge. Now, you're looking at animated GIF and wondering, what's with that? An animated GIF can be used as a preloader in Edge. What we're going to do is we're going to output this thing as a PNG32 image. Now, there are a couple of PNG formats here, so let's understand what they are. PNG32 gives you 24-bit color with an 8-bit alpha channel, which is great. PNG24 essentially gives you the same thing, however, it is mildly compressed and lossless, and there is no control over compression quality. So essentially, you get what you get. And PNG8, well, that's like an 8-bit GIF image. You don't want to even think about that one. So we'll go with PNG32 so we can maintain the transparency between all the layers. So the plan in Edge is real simple. When the animation opens, this head here will actually just rise. So you're probably going to see it do this. That's the plan. And the text blocks here, these two text blocks, will fade in. Get my little guy over here. So how do we go from here to Edge? Very simple. Fireworks has an export menu right here in the File menu. Select File, Export. And what you want to do is navigate to the Assets folder where you found your original PNG image. And in Export, you want to export layers to files. So we want to take these layers that you see in the Layers panel and put them out as individual files. For those of you that are new to Fireworks, the web layer containing slices and hotspots will not be exported. Click Export, and essentially you're done. Okay, let's head over to Edge. Now, I'm going to launch Edge and open the fireworks.edge file. You'll see that it opens as an HTML file in Edge, because the .edge extension is nothing more than a container format for the HTML. To bring in the images, remember you have all kinds of choice here. We're going to use the Finder method, so we're just going to open the Finder. I'm going to navigate to the Assets folder where we exported the files. And there they are, all exported as PNG files. I'm going to hold down the Shift key to select the 3 PNGs and just drag them to the stage. You can close the desktop. And now what you can do is just bring everything into place. So there's the main image. And the live text needs to go above the warrior, so we just select it in the Elements panel and move it up. And we're going to move it down into this position. And we're going to need the head because we can't see it. It's behind the warrior. So we'll just drag it up. There it is. And we'll put that there. And let's put our little warrior into motion. Click on the pin. And let's have everything happen over, we'll say 2 seconds. So we'll just go there. And we'll move our warrior straight down. And if we scrub across the timeline, you can see that the warrior's head comes up. And with the pin still there and the playhead back at the 0 point, select that text and knock the opacity back to 0%. And let's knock the opacity of this text back to 0%. And if you press the spacebar, the words fade in and the warrior rises. And if you test the movie, Command Return, you can see that everything happens. In this lesson, we explored the emerging workflow between Fireworks and Edge. I showed you how to export layers and how to optimize images for export into Edge. I also showed you how to export using the Layers to Files option, so you can drop everything right into Edge from the desktop and get right to work animating. I think if you were to have a stopwatch going, you would have seen that we had this animation from Fireworks to Edge completed in under 30 seconds.